Wait.
This is like ketamine all over again. We ready? Coming in contact with. No, you did not just take that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Touche the Podcast. My name's David, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Tally.
Hi, everyone. You're 48% more likely to land a first date if you do this one thing. We're talking in a dating app scenario.
I feel like I'm not gonna get this right. I don't know.
It's right up your alley.
Do you want me to actually share your Instagram?
Oh, no, that's a very valid suggestion.
Okay.
So
it was wrong, wasn't it?
It's wrong, but I get that.
Okay.
That would make sense because people can tap more into your life.
Yeah.
But according to recent Hinge data, so these are data points that people at Hinge are collecting on their users.
Okay.
You are 48% more likely to secure that first date if you send a voice note over Hinge.
Yeah.
They might be perfect on paper, but paper sometimes doesn't matter.
It's like he's a 10, but he has SpongeBob's voice. Or every time he laughs like SpongeBob.
It's life, baby. I've dated other people.
I
was in London traveling.
Yeah.
And again, I was brand new on Hinge. And so I didn't know the rules or the etiquette. So I'm in a different country. I switched my location to that country.
Yeah.
So everyone who was matching with me thought I was from the specific neighborhood in London.
Yeah.
Which now looking back, maybe that's confusing. Because I was getting a lot of messages that was like, hey, neighbor. And I'm like, neighbor?
No, definitely. But, everyone would do that, so...
Right. That's kind of like an F-boy move. To, switch your location everywhere you travel to. I hear people talking about that on podcasts where, if he doesn't switch his location, he's, not cheating on you, whatever.
No, on Hinge, because you can... Obviously, on, all dating apps, you can tell where they are.
Right.
So, on Tinder, if you're talking to someone who then goes on a trip and then you see that their mileage is all of a sudden 4,000 miles away.
They switch their location.
Or on Hinge, when you see that their location somewhere else. This happens to me all the time. And it's also happened vice versa, so I can't be too shady. But I'm always oh, okay, we're not...
Right, we're
not vibing. I'm okay.
You're still out there.
I'm I misread that, but that's my fault. I'm gonna take a step back, but that's on me. That's not on you. That's on me.
Pro tip, if you are British, always send a voice note.
Guinness is the undefinable quality that people can search for, but they can never learn, they can never find. You either have it or you don't. And from what I can see, you've definitely got it. There's a twinkle in your eye.
Cheerio, mate. So I ended up watching Fellow Travelers, which I'll get into what it's about. I haven't... Maybe the most emotional show I've watched in years. In it are played by Matt Bomer and Jonathan Bailey, which was the main reason that I watched the show, because I was okay, they're cute and hot, this will be a cute little love story. So wrong. I was so wrong. So it is. So here's a synopsis. So two people, Matt Bomer and Jonathan Bailey, who meet in the 50s, and the course their connection takes over the subsequent decades. So it starts in the 50s and moves through all the way to the 90s. It's set with the political backdrop. So it's set in DC for the main part of the show. It's all about McCarthyism, the Red Scare, the Lavender Scare, and all how that's affecting them as human beings. And then basically it just tracks every main political moment in history and where their love is in this story. So Matt Bomer's, some items that I want to point out is that I feel my U.S. history schooling in high school, I'm here to say it sucked. I had the worst U.S. history teacher in the world. I didn't really know that much about McCarthyism, the Red Scare, and the Lavender Scare.
I was about to ask.
Probably alive during the earliest generation to feel completely comfortable coming out. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and honestly, I'm going to say for myself, 90s.
Yeah.
I think I would have just married a girl and just been I'm not going to deal with that.
No, it's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I can't.
Jealous of everyone who lived in a time period without phones, because I would not cheat, but I completely understand how everyone in the 50s was cheating. That's so easy.
Right.
You don't have a laptop, you don't have an iPhone.
There's no way to track you. I go find my friends.
I could just go out to lunch and hook up.
Yeah.
And nobody
would know. You come home and you're where were you? And you're I was at lunch. Where the fuck were you?
No, literally.
It's what's great about our generation now is we have way more open-mindedness, more progression, people more accepting of other people's differences. Those things are all good.
Yeah.
But there's also these like kind of negative things that are like these negative aspects, like this like tech barrier that's between all of us all the time. It's just kind of like there's always something. Netflix though aren't they like pulling in multiple production houses? Like in theory they shouldn't have to. The way that they're able to produce so many Netflix originals is because they're working with 1,000 different production companies that are all producing independently. And so, like, they shouldn't have to cut back on quality. I just think, like, our generation, like, doesn't value these things as much anymore. Like, I don't know.
No, I completely agree.
And you, like, have, like, a soundtrack playing and you're like, I literally am in DC. I am Matt Bomber right now.
Oh my god, wait, I need to show you my... Like, 1950s, like, ragtime music.
No, literally. You're like such a little masochist.
Yeah. Matt Bomber and Jonathan Bailey. Also, everyone watched their interviews. I've watched a bunch of them. They definitely hooked up. Like, I was also thinking about this. I could not act because I would have such a crush on every time I have a love interest. I'm like, oh, I love you.
No, I always wonder how people don't fall in love on screen when they're acting.
No, I would.
No, I know. Like, I always wonder, like, they're having these, like, really intimate moments where they're, like, pretending like they're in love and they're, like, emulating this character. I'm like, I would be in love with every single person.
We'll watch the interviews between the both of them after this, and you're going to be like, they definitely
hooked up.
Yeah, they were like, that.
Words, baby. Woo!
Who's these two newts?
These two nudes. Dude, that's fucking funny. Whoever you are, we love you. I have no idea who that is.
We love you. Why are you throwing out? I also forgot we were streaming when I just said that.
When you talked about Matt Bomber sucking dick, yeah, I know.
But yeah, anyway, I thought that was like really...
The beautiful thing about language is that, you know, it's always evolving. Adding new words to the dictionary. Throwback to episode 1 when we talked about new words added to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. November of last year, they added almost 700 new words to the dictionary, and let me tell you, some of them are a hoot.
Okay.
I've never literally said that.
Yeah, I know.
Bye, newts.